Record to the cloud. We're here. Welcome to the meeting of the 50th anniversary for the International Foundation for Women's University. And we are here to discuss an idea for an online book. I did send you all a note on it. Did you all get a chance to see it? Did you see it, Mark? Mark,
Yes,
since you saw it, do you want to make the first comment?
It looked like a really good way for people to contribute. I like the way that it was a United Nations model, and it was like several hundred pages. I didn't look at all the pages, but it was several hundred pages, and a way for people to contribute their stories. So if we can find people to contribute their stories and convince them that that this is worthwhile and it's easy for them to do, I think we'll find, let's see what happens.
Okay, did anyone else get a chance to look?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, Steve, you want to ask questions, say something, good, bad, whatever.
Well, I think it's a great platform, and I'm familiar with other online like materials, but I haven't quite seen something like this before. So I think it's quite new to me. And then yeah, in terms of a lot of people can contribute, as Mark said. I think it's a great place that we can kind of keep the record, actually, which is will be very meaningful, particularly for this kind of 50th anniversary. So yeah, that's my initial thought.
Great, great. Anyone else?
I haven't read the whole thing, but since you talked about briefly, it's going to be about, online book. I just thought it's a good idea, but a lot work will be involved. That's my impression. So I'm not sure what you have to say. That's it.
Okay, so let's hear from everybody and then I'll talk. Jennifer, can you unmute yourself? And,
okay, I'm sorry.
We love to see you too. I mean,
Okay, let me see what I can. My husband's working behind me, so usually I try not to share.
Your camera is on, but anyways. Okay, talk.
Okay, so I didn't have a chance to look at it. I came back from Korea yesterday, and then just GA informed me this morning. But I thought I don't need to work today for for my real work. But I had constant meeting today. I tried to start to work from tomorrow, but I was working, so I didn't have a chance to look at the detail. I'll take a look at it. It sounds good according to GA, but I don't know the detail, what involved, what this book will do. I have no idea, so I cannot tell too much, but the idea itself sounds great.
Okay, so GA, do you want to say anything? Just plus, minus, whatever. I think I have the paper on the screen. Do I have it? No, I think I got rid of it. Yeah, no, I got rid of it. Let me show you the book. If you haven't seen the paper, you haven't actually seen what kind of book it is. So this is something we started for the UN anniversary of 75, and I'll just go through it with you. You can see that there is a donate button here, which can go to our website. Which I think is a plus. I mean, why not commemorate by donating something? Especially if you were a recipient of a scholarship 15 years ago and now you're running a wonderful IT company and you haven't had a chance to contribute. Anyways, there's a donate button. You log in to do your own contribution. We can have, these are actually chapters. If I do this, we go to another chapter, which was to commemorate UN turns 10. But basically, the cover would actually, look like this. We would design a cover. So that's the first thing that would be good to do. And then everyone makes their own contribution online, and you can actually contribute pictures, and you can contribute YouTube videos here if you want to do that, and you can contribute music. So it takes full advantage of the online platform. Steve, you mentioned, you know, you weren't familiar with the media, but the idea is that this is the only company I know of in the world that does this. You know, it's not like the Kindle book that you have a book and then you publish it online and you read it on your iPad or something. This is actually a book company that has like 3 or 4 people. I've worked with them on this book. They're really dedicated to they did Westminster Abbey's fundraising campaign in London. They're London-based. They did the Queen's 90th anniversary, for example, and people just contribute from around the world. And they have a little feature which I like, which is you can contribute in any language that you can use on your computer. You can contribute in Korean, French, German, and then the country that you're contributing from, when you register, the flag can also pop up here, which is kind of cute. And then, yeah, so people are just posting from all over the world in this book, from Peru, Canada. I assume we have some alum in Canada and other countries. It would be nice to reach out to them and hear from them as well. And I think I could probably even show you a page in here. So here's a YouTube video here. If I click on that, it goes right to the video. So if someone has a really nice share that they, you know, have already uploaded, then we can invite them to put it into the book.
Question?
Ask a question.
Yeah. So lots of questions. We'll start with Mark since he spoke first, and then
Okay,
go to Steve.
Mark,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Would the individual be responsible for posting this themselves?
Yes, they all post it themselves.
So there's no third-party intermediary?
No. In the concept note, you'll note that I suggested that my husband and I be the so-called editors. And the reason is occasionally what happens the most is people post the same message 3 or 4 times thinking it hasn't gone on to the book. And then when I look at it, I can see that it needs correction. And that's basically the only editing that's required, is just making sure that there are no duplicates. And also occasionally you might get, not in this case, but you might get someone who comes in who's inappropriate. And then, you know, we would remove that. So it only requires somebody to occasionally read it. And I thought, since we have to interact with the online company on what pages goes where and who to leave in and who to leave out, that we would assume that responsibility. That's all.
Okay.
It's pretty much once a month looking, or once a week, you know. And if it's in Korean or something, we can always ask GA to look at page so-and-so, and she can see the page numbers there, you know, to take a look at a page. Or Reverend Park, you could look. Jennifer, you could look. You know, if you all see anything inappropriate, you could let us know, and we could tell the online company. It's their service. We pay a monthly fee for their service for storage of about $500, and they take care of the things for us. We don't do any of the maintenance on the book. Steve.
I had a similar question. If it is it open to the public once we launch, once we start, meaning literally anyone can?
Anyone who has the link can register and post, which is why you would want people to read occasionally.
Okay, so not it's not going to be limited to anybody who like a graduated from IFEWU, or anybody whom actually we invite, literally.
You know, we would invite them, I assume, you know, and in the concept note, you'll see I suggested some categories, mostly recipients of our money would be like the best stories, alumni, donors, anybody who wants to congratulate the foundation, but we would be sending out, you know, the notice in the newsletter, in the messaging, you know. It's not entirely public in the sense, but I would hope it would go on the website. So someone who comes to the website would be able to get a link to saying something nice about the foundation. To that extent, it could be public. I think it's worth making it easy to find, not making it hard. And we just simply need to monitor and make sure that there's nothing inappropriate there. Does that answer your question?
So it'll be our responsibility who.
Yeah, yeah. And Rick and I are willing to kind of be the first persons to look at it and then involve everybody else if necessary. Are you imagining something really bad? Could be
Yeah, I'm kind of preparing for the kind of worst case scenario, because a couple of days ago, I attended a seminar about 20 people, and then all of a sudden,
you got Zoom bombed.
Zoom bombing, and then couple of them invaded, actually showed very nasty pictures and everything. So, I mean, it is happening everywhere. So we should.
Yep. No, absolutely. Which is why I suggested that Rick and I be the ones who, you know, the buck stops here in a way. We make sure that we look at it. And as I say, I was surprised that we didn't get more of that in this book, because as soon as I put on YouTube for public commentary anything related to women or the UN, I start getting all kinds of bad stuff. But this one, we had only one very incoherent message of somebody who didn't know what they were talking about, and we removed it. Everything else actually has been fairly easy. I'm not saying it won't happen, but at least we have in place four eyes. You know, my husband and I are going to look at it. And as I say, if it's in different language, in Korean, you know, we may involve some of you others to look at it. And also, I have to say the company in London is quite good, because they also are very careful about the possibilities of people intruding. And so they're also looking. If they see something, they flag it to me.
So you said, did you say like about $500 per year?
Well, that's what this is costing here. No, not per year. It's per month.
What will happen? What's going to happen after a year?
Yeah.
I remember they mentioned some sort of like we can download everything into a kind of PDF format.
Okay, it's not $500 a year. This book is costing us $500 a month, which is because it's such a huge, memory. Because it's just huge. So it's partly for the server, and it's partly for the maintenance that I asked them to do. But my husband and I are sponsoring this book. This is not something that the foundation pays for. And we will pay and negotiate the original setup for the foundation. But this is a foundation project in the sense that you decide if you decide the design of the cover, for example, and the outreach to various groups, the initial outreach, the posting on the website. And then when we close the book, because we do need to close the book, I'm just now asking them the PDF version of the book, what we would do. And so they have a mechanism to PDF the book, and that can be then posted on the website or available to anyone who wants to actually print it out. I was told that for the Westminster Abbey renovations fundraising book, it actually printed out into thousands and thousands of pages, because they raised millions of dollars through this online book. And then they PDF'd it, printed it out, and it's sitting in the Westminster Abbey library under armed guard. So, because it cost them like $10,000 to print out all those thousands of pages. I think, you know, we would very wisely not have a very expensive book, but it would be so great to have the participation of people from around the world. I mean, you know, in Korea, here, young people, old people.
So, question: how many pages? Which means how many people are you expecting to participate in this book? And what is your goal date for, you know, compiling?
The timetable. So
Yeah.
the reason I thought to bring this group together is I was hoping that we would get this off the ground right away. That if this committee can decide you're willing to go through with this, that we could get GA and some cooperating people to imagine how to design the page, the cover, right? And then we could start reaching out for the first initial messages. You'll notice at the very beginning, it's very appropriate to have an introductory message of some kind to begin the book and to explain the book, right? What it is, introductory message. So in the concept note, I made some suggestions that we could get a message from President of IFEWU, President of the Foundation. We could get message from past presidents of the Foundation that were available. And we could kind of make that the front part of the book. Everyone would be responsible, for doing that. And you would see the size. We can give the word length to everyone so they can kind of try to stick to the size. Something like that.
And I know you're gonna be the editor with your husband, and then so you are going to be like a gatekeeper. But how much of work GA has to be involved? I think she has a lot of workload at this point, especially we are closing, financial deadline, and she has to prepare for our annual meeting and stuff. So if it is, like too much of workload, what's gonna happen? And I think without GA, we cannot pursue this, honestly, because she's the one that has to reach out, to make phone calls and, and sending out the messages. That is, believe it or not, it's a lot of work.
So, I cannot answer that actually myself. Obviously, GA has to work that. But in this situation for this book, we made sure it was on a website so that people could access it. We sent out one message to explain the deadline. I suggest that our deadline be December 31st of this year. That's the close of our year. And that's website, a MailChimp kind of message, and newsletter. Those are basically the three avenues. We never called people, we might get queries of emails or something like that, but basically it's not a high, one of the reasons I like this kind of project, it's extremely, it gives back more than you have to give to it. It's a very low maintenance project, but it's a very high participation project. And I thought that for the 50th anniversary, participation would be really very good. Now, the side part that I love about this project is database. So we've always wanted, Steve, to increase the database, right? And we're missing the young alumni, for example. Now, if we are able to make a special appeal, the children of board members, young alumni, in the US particularly, to contribute, we can capture the database from this and then add it to the main database and do more promotion and newsletter outreach through it. We don't have at the moment anything related to our 50th anniversary that does that. So that is one of the side things that I thought, it doesn't cost us extra. Because when you log in, you actually want to, you'll come to this page. Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see that? Right? You give your email address, you create your own account, and you even have a chance to, retrieve your password if you have to. That way, they're sharing their email contact with us. And that's good for us to be able to connect with them in the future.
So how many pages are you thinking of,
Well, you know what? My attitude is give a deadline, end of this year, and see how it goes. I mean, if we get 1,000 pages, it's like why not,
I know we have to dream big, but is it really realistic? That's what I want to ask Jay.
If we get 50 submissions, it's still something. I mean, the point is, at the moment, we don't have anything that marks our 50th anniversary in any memorable way. At least this is a book.
Okay.
At least all board members will contribute something, right? All of our current and past donors will be invited to contribute a word about how wonderful it is that they started a scholarship at the foundation. I
And-
actually would love to work with the president's office on her message, because her office and I have been in touch about Beijing Plus 25. And as you know, Dr. Sogwang's son has put me in touch with her, and she and I have a bit of a rapport. I think she would be happy to contribute something that's right on the spot, to talk about the importance of the foundation, what it is in the history of IFEWU. I think all that stuff.
Okay.
So one page from her, one page from Mark, one page from each board member. We're at least at 50.
Okay. First of all, I mean, it's too detailed, but when is when does term finish for the current president? Jie, do you know? I can hear you.
You mean President Hsu Kim?
Yes.
Yes.
Her presidency ends next May or June.
February, if I'm not mistaken.
February?
February.
February.
That's what I know.
I heard that
Okay.
May, but yeah, maybe February.
Okay. So that's, then former president and the new elected president, you can ask whatever you want. But the cost of this one, I know, even though you pay for this, how do they, charge you? Depend on how many pages, the volume of it?
No,
Or-
it's by the design of it. And if we use exactly this format that we have here,
Yeah.
this format was around $3,000.
$3,000. Okay.
And it's a one-time fee, except for the monthly maintenance. Okay, but what we need to do is to provide that cover page. That's the most important, because without that cover page, they cannot set up the template for this.
Mhm.
But this is a template that they have already. It could be very quickly done, more or less. Well, I'm hoping it's done before our board meeting in October, so that we can actually show it to the board and get them to start promoting it and contributing to it. But we would need, we need to decide as soon as possible, hopefully today, that this is something that the committee is interested in doing. Then we can ask for somebody, to design page. In this case, actually what happened is I went to them and I said, I don't have a designer for the cover page. And there was some student at the local design school they pulled into their office, and she designed this cover for us. So they're a semi-volunteer organization. They're very, they try to adjust to the budgets that we have.
Well, we have an IFEWU logo that you mean, like the pear flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that to represent it.
There is a title which my husband and I are suggesting, which is 50 Years of Lives Transformed, as a kind of subtitle. I would be happy if you guys agreed to that subtitle. It would be, International 50th Anniversary, International Foundation for IFEWU Women's University, but with a subtitle of, 50 Years of Lives Transformed.
We also have the kind of a catchphrase. We had it to, like a
Right.
Reverend Kang,
Okay.
no woman left, whatever. We can use that
No
one.
woman left behind.
Yeah, we can use that one. Also, not only for the cover page, to me, is we need to develop few introduction pages if you want to go on. So, kind of the history of the foundation and, objective kind of stuff. So when somebody who do not know too much of foundation can read and then, oh, this is the organization, or this is foundation, oh, I want to contribute, especially if we want to get some donation from them. I think we need a few pages we need to develop. Then after that, whoever want to put their page there, they can develop their own story, to me.
Okay.
I have a
It
question.
sounds like, yeah.
Do you think,
Sounds like to me we're asking for several kinds of contributions, and so I'm unclear if the message may get muddled when we're trying to send this out. And that is, you've talked about board members. You've spoken about the recipients of the foundation funds throughout the years, and you've talked about people who have actually started foundation funds. My fear is that if all three go into this one book, there may be a muddled message. And so I'd like to get a clear overarching theme so that whoever contributes to it would have would not go too far afield and stay on task.
Mark, can I clarify
Yeah.
this?
Please do.
This is a celebration of the foundation's 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
That is the theme. So the message is, I mean, to me, it's very clear. This is a celebration. So however I wouldn't want to say you have to do it this way and that way, or to create themes for them. That is the theme. And just like the Thank You UN 75, we did not say you have to talk about equality or human rights or anything. We just said, give us a message to thank the UN. In some cases, they told a life story where the UN influenced their life. In other cases, they wrote 3 sentences that said, you are a wonderful organization, congratulations. So I would rather leave it open-ended, but the theme itself is the celebration of the foundation. So, you know, leave it at that, and people will contribute, you know, in the way in express, I think quite genuinely, you know, what they would like to contribute.
Again, I'll say this one more time and then I'll stop. But it seems that if the title is going to be a half century of lives transformed, then we actually get those lives that have been transformed by scholarships. Let them tell their story. And that could be the celebration.
Yeah, I think to me, that's the core of it. But on the other hand, I think it should be a book where people can post wonderful messages for the foundation and good wishes for the future. So here's what we can do. Okay, Mark, so here's what we can do. We can also create a chapter. So we can, if we get a lot of these stories, which are from scholarships, we might not get a lot. We might get 5. Okay.
I think that would be the core. That should be the core of the book, though.
I know, but we may not get them. So my suggestion is that we not hamper ourselves too much. Put it out there. Have confidence that the people will understand what it is we want when we say celebrate, and reach out specifically to those recipients. Now, I don't know if we even have a database of the people who have received our scholarships before, but if we do, if we get 5, we could put them sort of in the front of the book. We can move them to the front. One of the things that an editor does, which we can do, is we can say, put this, you know, towards the front. Jennifer, your point about making sure that there's an introduction of what the foundation is and its mission and all of that, Mark needs to write an introduction to that. Table of contents would include a page for the Helen Kin Society people, maybe the River of Faith history book. Maybe we can create a link to that because that tells the entire history. Something like that. But I mean, Mark, I agree with you. That should be the core of the book, but because we don't know if it'll be enough, and other people should be welcome to participate in some way. But if we find that we get 100, you know, contributions of recipients, we can group them into a separate chapter.
Okay.
And say, you know, these are the stories, these are the best stories, read this first. Is that okay? No? He's smiling, he's saying.
Once we close this project and download it to PDF, do you think the contents will be searchable? Like, I mean, like someone made a sentence or paragraph, and can we search by their name or whatever? So are the contents will be searchable online, or
No, that's a good question. That's a good question.
because
Yeah, but all PDFs can be searched. If
No,
you
no, no,
have
no, no.
Acrobat, no, if you have Acrobat Pro, you can search a PDF.
right,
if-
but
yeah.
in general, no, it's
No,
not.
no.
Yeah, we should make searchable, make the content searchable when we publish. So my concern is it'll be amazing, it'll be valuable, and then it's a good idea to put all together in one PDF file for the record. But if it is not searchable, people cannot access the content unless they look at the file and open it up before they read it. So during, for the period when we open to this online book, anybody can see, upload, so it is great, but it kind of starting next year, I think we have to make it searchable. Otherwise, there could be a better way. My only concern is, I think this platform is perfect for the organization like UN. I mean, you can reach out to basically anybody, anywhere. But I think we have some sort of like a targeted audience using the database that we have. So, sorry, it may sound somewhat pessimistic, but let's say we hear from, I don't know, 50, 100 different people only, then we can handle that in kind of, easier way or a better way with, first of all, I forgot to thank you because you're so nice to all.
Don't worry. Don't worry about that part. I'm not offended that you didn't thank me.
Yeah, basically, sorry about that. I'm an economist, so I always had like a cost benefit. So it'll be like almost like a cost to free. Other than GS work hour, but you are not asking for any extra kind of financial burden. But anyway, this is you are one of us, so this is our money anyway, right? So
There
my
you are.
question,
But I told you, since you're chair of the development committee,
my question is,
your purse opens
you
first.
like generously offer kind of more than a couple of $1,000s for this project. So my concern is, if we just hear only from kind of less than 100 people, we can maybe ask them to send us one page, like a document that we can easily kind of put in a kind of book in a book, and also we can make it searchable. So it may sound, I know it may sound somewhat kind of pessimistic, but question is, I don't have any answer for my question, but is it worth spending your dollars making this using this platform, or I'm not saying we shouldn't do this. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking for a.
I hear you thinking out loud, and that's just fine. So I'm listening.
So,
So, Dr. Yun, initial cost for making the format like this is $3,000, but
no, it's not $3,000. That's what the other book cost. And I don't know what they would charge for this, but I negotiate with them each time. I'm guessing it'll be that or under, and then the maintenance fee. Yeah.
So maintenance, until we decide to make it like a PDF form, it's gonna be on this form, and then you have to pay $500 maintenance fee every month. How long are you thinking of keeping as it is? So.
I think we should close it the end of this year. I think it should be closed by the end of this year. It's the end of our anniversary year, and then we would close it. That would be our deadline. And then we would post it on the website in its entirety.
we post PDF.
The unsearchable PDF. Yeah, the terrible PDF. There's nothing we can do in a way to prevent that except do an entirely different project, which would be, actually I have to tell you that UN Women for their anniversary is trying to do a real book, printed book. it is so slow. It is like taking them forever to get any contributions. This kind of, because I have experience with this format, I can tell you that the efficiency of this format, this ease with which you can just fill out those two things, the email and whatever, and then just post whatever message you want. It's like writing an email. So it makes it a very fast, user-friendly interface, as opposed to writing something for a page of a real book. So they're having, it's a slow project for them. This is already, within 4 weeks, we have about 100 contributions from around the world.
Okay.
So I can tell you only from my experience.
Okay. I really don't want to kill your good idea, and then I want to encourage you, but I'm not really, realistically, we don't have enough time, and I hope you're not disappointed by the result of it, because it's already September. We only have 3-4 months to work, and then you think if it is feasible, workable, and possible, then go for it, and you pay for it, and then I think no reason to just say no.
So as chair of our 50th anniversary committee, you have a lot of sway. Your vote counts here.
Really?
Yeah.
If you say yes, then it's going to be yes for the consensus. But let's hope there's no one who says no at the moment. Anyone say no?
No. I'm not saying no. I'm getting on board. I just hope that we can turn it into a true inspiring work that will inspire other people to contribute to this as well.
Right.
So that'd be an overarching goal, I think, that whatever we do. So that's why I was trying to focus it on just the donors first, or primarily.
I
So,
totally agree.
That's where
the best. Those are the best stories. Yeah.
That's where the inspiring stories are, and if we
and maybe some dollars.
and too much, overkill on, and too many can sort of, too much choice can kill free choice. Kind of
One of the
idea.
things that I noticed in our approach is that we have we have the website to acknowledge donors, and we have the newsletter in print. Something like this, I agree with you that the compelling story of the foundation is in its impact on people's lives.
Right. Yeah.
But it also needs, I think, occasionally to reach out to our donors, many of whom may be even dormant donors at this point, people who get our newsletter, the 10,000 people who get our newsletter, give them an opportunity to interact with us one more time. This is an opportunity that's just open and free, and give them that chance to say, oh, we are the foundation. We want to hear from you. Give us your message, tell us what's going on that's good about what this foundation does. And it seems to me that in itself, it would be an important thing for the foundation to do. That's
Okay, and
then
for Jie.
Yes.
I don't need the exact figure, but how many kind of recipients contact information? So how many do you think we could reach out to the past recipients? I mean, just roughly speaking, I don't need any exact number. Do we say once we start this project, so we just encourage past recipients to participate, and by email or something like that, then how many do you think we can, kind of people that we can reach out to?
I can
Just
reach out.
roughly.
I can reach out the recipients of Appenzeller Scholarship, or the scholarship we give here in the States. We have their Gmail, the email accounts, contact, if they keep that email account. And
roughly how many?
roughly annually 4 or 5, 3 to 5 people annually.
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, in your whole like a email.
In my database, yes, about, let's say about 30 people. I have their email contact. If they have, they keep those email account, and I have other scholarship recipients, or I mean, summer school scholarship recipients.
Great.
Their email accounts I have, as long as they keep their email accounts, and but the school students or graduates, I have to ask the school, because they don't. I can have the email account, but they don't want to actually share the students' email with outside people, because they have to then need the allowance from the students, permission of the students. So they usually they do that. So, and then I have the list, but if I want to contact the students, I have to ask the university.
You answered my question. Thank you.
Anyone else?
How
So-
are we going to effectively promote this project if we decide to go for it? I think it's not just sending out the email is not good enough. It's really personal context, and and go after them and encourage them, and it's a lot of effort. That's why I just think, Jie, do you think you can handle that?
Again, with the time frame, because if we want to go live this one till at the end of the year, at least the initial plan has to be done within next few weeks, right? 2-3 weeks. So then we can, so in that period we need to plan who will be there, who we're going to reach out, what kind of content, what kind of things we're going to put it as introduction, whatever, what kind of format we want to use. Then we need to reach out people to contribute, their articles or money, whatever. We need to reach out. So
Right. It
I
has
think
to
we
be
need some kind of a time frame we need to have. So Gia, again, like as the constant you said at the beginning, it's a kind of a busy time for her. We're going to have annual meeting soon. We have to finish up the September financials. So
Yeah.
Or at least I hope. Well, actually, I completed the draft of the newsletter last week. But when I heard about Dr. Yoon's idea, I asked to hold publishing to the printing shop just for a week or so. So at least I don't know if the link of the online book for the people, general public to access, when we have those link, and if we print it in the newsletter, we insert in the newsletter with the invitation words in the newsletter, then maybe 10,000 people can read it.
Jay, do we ever send out MailChimp messages? You know what that is? We send out MailChimp messages. You can send out to very large database. There's basically one email. You just send it out to 10,000. We send out to 25,000 people, one message. So it's my suggestion that since you have to close the newsletter, I think it'd be great. I can write up a little thing. Constance can, and Mark, and the committee can agree on the text that we can announce it, that it's coming, so that people will be alerted. But as I mentioned, until we get the design of the cover, I've not mentioned this to the company yet. They can't set it up. And there has to be at least 2 or 3 weeks in which you allow us time to get that done. So I wouldn't imagine a live link, but definitely please make an announcement that this is coming if we agree. And, you know, then they can look out for it. And then somewhere after, around the board meeting, once it's designed, send out one message to the same database using just whatever platform you use for one messaging. And that should, with the live link, and then promote at the board member. And that's all I see is necessary, actually. I don't see anything else necessary. You know, people can share the link, you can send it by email, whatever.
Do we have a MailChimp set up?
Are you asking whom?
We have an email. Some of the people in our database, we have some people's email accounts, but in our, I mean, the 10,000 people in our database, but I think about 10% of them gave us the email account. So I think about 1,000. I think less than 1,000.
Can I suggest that maybe in the announcement of this, in the newsletter, say that please participate by sending us your email address. If this is going by hard copy to 10,000 people and we don't have their email addresses, why not ask them, you know, to send it to us so that we can keep them in the loop on this particular project. So to participate, please send us your email address and then send it to you. And then by the time a week or so or 2 weeks lapse, we at least have maybe a few more that we can start there. Again, if we're successful at this, which I think we really will be, we will get more email addresses. If we by word of mouth, you know, Constance, if you say you're going to work really hard on this, that's really great. I intend to do very little work on this project because I have 3 other books going. But, you know, if you want to reach out to other people, I think person to person is the best way. If we don't have their email addresses, you know, just get them on board, tell them to send the email so that when that one message goes out, you know, they can be included.
So anybody can write any topic or just focus on 50th?
They have to focus on the 50th. That's the theme. It's congratulations to us for the 50th anniversary. I mean, Mark said we need a theme. To me, that's the theme. They can't just write anything about their lives and my life at IFEWU.
I guess within that context, they can write up, you know, any UI related, as long as you are related. So another question then, this publisher or the company, can they create the link, at least the, you know, link before we publish before we send out the newsletter without the content? Is it possible? No.
It's not possible because once you create a link, you have to land someplace. We don't have a landing page for them. There's no cover for the book. And as I said, it's going to take a couple of weeks. Once I get the cover, I can go to them, negotiate the price, sign a contract. They will then set it up. So it's going to take a few weeks to get this, hopefully before the board member. If not, you know, we'll just work with the time. I think if we have it out there for 30 days, that's enough time to get a response. As I say, it's so user-friendly, it's so easy. Like you and I could just get on there and do it in 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's more likely after the link is created, we need to reach out as a, you know, so that's to be successful.
Once we send out a blast of, say even to the 1,000 people, all of us in the board, because all of our emails are there, can start sharing it so we can forward it to people that we know, but their emails may not exist. And the alumni associations can help. You know, they all contributed money. I think a lot of us have busy schedules. If we could just have decisions on 3 things. One is that the focus is going to be on the 50th anniversary of the International Foundation. On the subtitle of it, I am not a fan of the subtitle that we decided. I would love it if you agree to the subtitle that my husband and I wanted, which is 50 years of lives transformed. But if you want to vote on that, you can.
Okay.
What are the options? What are the options again?
Third thing, you said 3 things you should decide.
Well, first one is that we agree that to do the book,
Focus.
that the focus is on the 50th anniversary. That's it. Second one was the subtitle. And third one was that we send out an extra MailChimp message at some point to those that we can, in addition to the newsletter, as soon as we get the design and all of that.
Okay, who's going to make a cover page? You, or you have to ask someone?
I assume that somehow that would land not in my lap. Gee, don't we have some young interns someplace doing something?
Steve, Dr. Ha, can you ask the Sunmin Im about this book design? If she
Sure,
with
we can
extra
ask.
pay.
I mean, who designs our newsletter? I mean, all we need is one page, and then it needs to be approved by Constance and by GA and Mark. That's it. How's that?
I think we can use like as the EY logo, and also foundation has a logo, and we can some of the page in our website we created. There are a couple of good. We can use them.
I think we need an original cover for this. I looked at the website and it doesn't have cover possibility.
Suitable
It's
page.
a great website.
Okay.
No, it's great, but I
Not for
would
the.
suggest, yeah, not for this. We need someone to volunteer for this. I leave it in the hands of Jay and Steve to figure out. Sounds like, but you were the only two nodding in this case, so I assume you could figure that out. And Mark, you have to start working on your message, so that would be good. Board members, start working on your message.
Just give me a deadline, and do you want it in print or you want it in video? Just give me a deadline.
In print, because as you saw in the book, it should go in the front.
So, our website designer sent me some thumbnails for the website. So can you share? Can you let me share?
Can we not do that now? Because it takes so much time and I have to run, and so does everyone else. I leave it in your hands to figure this out with Steve, because Steve apparently knows someone, and then come up with some options, and then it can be agreed upon. But it really would be great, because that is the first step. It's the first step for me to go to the company and say, this is what we want, and then we can work with it. And if we can get it done before, beginning of October, we're in good shape.
Okay, Jia and Steve, do you agree to go ahead?
Can you say I can hear you? I can hear you. It's something's going on.
Okay, so if you want to do it, I have no objection.
Okay.
So,
how about you, Jennifer? Are you okay? Thumbs up? No?
Does she hear you?
I don't know. She's not voting.
Jennifer.
We'll take this as a yes.
Jennifer, can you hear us?
Silence means yes, right?
Okay, silence means yes. All right. I'm going to stop recording at this point. And I thank you all for your patience and volunteer work on this. And do take a look at the concept note, because there may be something in there that you want to add to or think is not good. If you can take a look at that, that would be great.
Yeah, but second matter, the title of the book, that